From Studio B in Riverside, Illinois, it's RBTV's The Late Hour with Vejas Cuplinskas. Today's guests are Mark Ori, Kathleen Lojas, and Sonja Rajic.
Hello and welcome to The Late Hour. I'm Vejas Cuplinskas, your host, and today we are joined by Mr. Mark Ori. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Oh, that's great. So could you tell me a little bit about your high school experience growing up?
Okay, so I grew up in Niles. I went to a Park Ridge school called Maine South High School. Was a three-sport athlete there. I did my work. I was always doing my homework. Not naturally gifted with high ACT scores, stuff like that. So I had to study a lot, and it paid off. Ended up getting a scholarship to play baseball at Northwestern, which was a school that I necessarily couldn't have gotten into academically on my own, but my athletics helped me to go to a great school and have a great experience.
So you said you play three sports, one of which is baseball. What are the other two?
Played football and hockey. Played hockey outside. Actually, first 2 years I played four sports. Played basketball for the school and played hockey outside for a travel team. So.
Oh wow, that really
stayed
gifted.
busy.
Yeah. So then you went on to college because of your baseball. Did you
Correct.
get a scholarship? Or?
Got a scholarship in baseball. Played 3 years there. Was drafted after my junior year. For baseball, you're not eligible if you sign a Division I scholarship. You're not eligible for the draft until you're 21 or after your junior year. So I was drafted by the Houston Astros and decided to take that offer and leave college early.
So was that a college team, or was that like the MLB?
MLB. So
MLB.
Yeah.
Wow. So you couldn't continue on in the MLB, or did you decide not to?
So I played 7 years in the Houston Astros organization. So most people don't know there's a ton of different levels, starting at rookie ball, single A, low single A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the big leagues. Mm-hmm. I made it up to double A with the Houston Astros, got to play in some elite like fall leagues, which is held in Arizona for a couple of years. So I had a great experience. I got released my seventh year, I think it was, in like 2011, and then played a year of independent baseball, which is still professional. You're still getting paid, but it's not affiliated with an organization at the major league level. Played for a couple months and then decided just to hang them up and go on another career path. So I didn't have my education license until after I was done playing. I actually got a scholarship through our baseball union. Mm-hmm. And found that out while I was playing in independent baseball. So I wasn't going to go play, and it was something that I just kind of did last minute, and was informed by one of my teammates that our union offered scholarships. So, I mean, things happen for a reason, because that led me to getting a master's in special education, and here I am today teaching here at RB. So.
Yeah, so how did you decide to come to RB? So why RB?
I was teaching, I was actually a paraprofessional in the autism program at my alma mater at Maine South High School, and I was coaching baseball and football there, which was nice to be back in somewhere where I love my experience as a student, which is kind of why I went into teaching. Loved everything about high school, had a great experience, had great role models, teachers, coaches, people I still talk to, and did throughout my career as a player. But I kind of fell into this. I just was applying everywhere. I mean, just trying to get a job, really, and I was blessed and lucky enough to find a great place like RB. I mean, this is my third year. I love it here, and couldn't have asked for a better place to be for technically my first teaching experience. We're running my own classroom,
So now you also coach baseball here, right?
Coach baseball and I coach football.
And football. Mm-hmm. So those are two separate seasons. So you teach, coach football, coach baseball.
And then I'm taking classes for a second master's to get my principalship. So actually I'm in my last class right now, my last class, if that makes sense, is next Thursday, because we meet once a week from 4 to 9.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of school.
Yeah. I feel like I've been in school for life. So.
Yeah, but you still like to get away from school and travel a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you gone to any interesting places, any memorable?
Yeah, I mean, I do the, Florida, Arizona kind of trips. My dad has a house in Arizona now, so get out there. But we took a trip out to Italy. I'm one of 4 boys. My youngest brother got married there about 3 summers ago. Mm-hmm. And we went to Tuscany region. My brother rented a villa there, and it was just my family and his wife's family, who actually, our dads grew up together on Chicago Avenue way back when. I mean, it's a long family history, but we spent a week in Italy together. And prior to that, I went out there by myself, met a buddy of mine that was playing professional baseball out there, and he took me up in the mountains to where my dad's from in northern Italy. And I got to see where my grandfather, and he's one of 9, where they all grew up. The house is still there. We still own it. It's not livable, but it was a cool experience just to see, where my family, where the culture comes from, and just kind of hang out in that area, in that little small town in Italy. There's nothing really going on, it's slow pace, and everyone's relaxed and having a good time, but it's so different than being here.
Were there any annoying siblings growing up, or did you get along fine with them?
We all, 4 boys, all a lot of energy. I mean, we had our battles. We smacked each other around a little bit, but we love each other. I mean, we're the best of friends. Mm-hmm. We're fighting one second, laughing another, crying another. That's the way we are. We're in each other's business all the time, but I don't know what any other way.
So before we end this show, is there any advice to students that would you like to tell them?
Just get involved in anything and everything you can here. I was, my background is athletics, but whether it's music, you're in the musical, right?
Yeah. Well, there's auditions. Yeah.
Yeah. So just get involved with anything and anything you can. Clubs. There's a ton of stuff to do here at RB, and everyone here is lucky enough to have that available. There's a ton of teachers that are willing to stay after. It's if you are looking to go on and go to college, that's what colleges are looking for, something that stands out, So, and you never know what you're gonna fall into. So anything that you can get exposed to, go for it.
Oh, so thank you for joining me today on the show, and stay tuned because we'll be right back with Miss Lojas and Miss Rajic after this short break. Hello and welcome back to the Late Hour. I'm your host, Vejas Cuplinskas, and now we are joined by Miss Lojas and Miss Rajic. So, how are you guys doing today?
Great, thank you.
Pretty good, thanks.
That's really good. So, let's jump right into it. So, you guys are special ed teachers, is that correct?
I'm the special ed specialist in the classroom, and Ms. Rajic is the content specialist.
Yep, the general education teacher.
So, how did you guys get into this? What education was needed to achieve this?
My major was in special education, and the rest of the content that I've had to learn here, I've done basically just by jumping in.
And about you?
So I went to school to study biology and chemistry because I originally wanted to go to pharmacy and be a pharmacist. And then I changed my mind, so then I went and got my teaching certificate from Roosevelt University and a master's degree. And then I was employed at RB.
That's really nice. So,
learned a lot from Miss Lojas.
So you started teaching in 1982, but that wasn't in RB. That was
that was when the dinosaurs were around. So no, I started in downstate Illinois, where I went to school at McMurray College, very fine private university, and then made my way up the state. I was at Gross Middle School for a couple of years, and then came to RB in '91. So I've been here 26 years and have had really good experiences here. Lots of different things. I've coached, I've helped with the musicals, I've done clubs, so it's been a really wonderful experience, and the best part, of course, is always the kids.
Always the kids. And you came here in 2013, is that correct?
Yes, I came here in 2013, a little after the dinosaurs went extinct. So I was fresh out of college, applying everywhere really for a job, and I was lucky to land at RB, and it's been a really wonderful experience. I've been here for 5 years now. My first year was part-time, and I was fortunate to have a full-time job after that, and I've been here ever since, and I really love the students here and the staff, and everybody's really wonderful.
And then you said something about plays and musicals, is that correct?
That was a while ago. That was
That was a
before
while.
my children were born. I helped Miss Morelli with a couple of the plays and musicals.
What kind of plays were they?
I did one with Mr. Murkowski called Our Hearts Were Young and Gay, and then I did Sound of Music, The Wiz, and I can't remember yeah.
So there was like 3 or 4 shows?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So about 3 or 4 years that I did that. Yeah.
Wow. Were you ever an actress in high school or college or
I'm mostly a behind the scenes kind
behind
of
the
person.
scenes, like tech
Yeah.
crew or something?
No, I like to
Oh,
direct,
direct?
or assistant direct.
So
yeah.
you just came to RB and just started directing and
No, I just, there was an opening, and I enjoyed doing that kind of assistant work, and it's wonderful to work with Miss Morelli. She always has a great vision of where she wants to go. I liked it too because it helped me pull some kids that might not have been in the theater department into the theater department because they knew me and were comfortable with me. So that was always fun too, to get some more kids involved in the program.
and now you're a sponsor of the Minority Empowerment Club, right?
I took it over mid-year last year, African American Minority Empowerment Club. Of course, it would be best if we had a minority person running it, but we don't have that person right now. And I thought it was important that the club have a voice, and the students who wanted to be in the club have a sponsor. So we've been trying to bring in some guest sponsors and guest speakers, and last year the club voted to open it up to all minorities and anybody who wanted to participate.
And do you sponsor or run any clubs or
I
anything?
sponsor a color guard club.
Color guard.
So yeah, the girls that with the flags and the batons we are kind of with band, but a little bit of a separate entity.
So they're the ones that dance around with the blue and white flags while
yes,
the band
they
plays.
perform with band during halftime shows, different parades, things like that. So we have one baton member right now, and she's a freshman, and she's really amazing.
I have seen her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have about 7 girls that do flags as well.
That's really nice. And so you're also currently at Northeastern Grad
Yes.
School, Northeastern, not
Northeastern.
Northwestern, Northeastern. So how's that going? Is that
So I
frustrating?
was, my second year of teaching, I had Miss Sarah Johnson infused in my classroom to kind of give strategies for how to infuse reading into different content areas. And I thought that was really important, and I thought that was really important, so I decided to get a degree in it, and because I wanted to learn more about it, and I wanted to learn how to support my students. And so right now I am in my second year in my master's program, and I have 1 semester left, and then I'll have that literacy endorsement.
Well, that's really nice. So don't go anywhere, because after this break we will be back to talk about their wonderful animals that they have brought here. Hello and welcome back to the Late Hour. I'm your host, Vejas Cuplinskas, and we are now back with Miss Lojas and Miss Rajic, and now they have some pets. So you brought in a snake today,
Right.
I see.
This is Manny, and he's a corn snake, and he was given to us by Dean Ziglich, who was a student here, graduated, went to college, and then realized he couldn't care for him. His parents didn't have time. They travel, and so he's been with us now for a couple years. He's gotten much bigger. He sheds every so often, which is really quite wonderful. We talk a lot in our classroom about cell reproduction and protein synthesis and the other functions that the animals need to do. And these are great examples. And right now he's busy showing us how he's using his energy.
Yeah, we talk about their adaptations. So we compare, there's a couple other science teachers that have snakes in their classrooms as well. And so we'll sometimes bring in the other snakes as well and just compare how the different snakes look different and how they have different adaptations and their characteristics that help them to survive in their environment based on the different natural habitats that they have.
Some students are super afraid of the snakes, and so, well, you're doing a really good job being comfortable. Other students really like the snake. They find it soothing. Sometimes we use it as, you know, sort of like an incentive for getting work done, you know, or if someone's feeling anxious.
Them with it,
I do no, we never threaten. We want students to really appreciate snakes. There's very few poisonous snakes in the world. Most snakes actually are very beneficial. They serve great role in their ecosystems, and we want kids to appreciate, you know, how valuable they are.
Right.
Whoa, it's around the mic cord. Did you want to say something? And we really also stress like not buying these kinds of animals from pet stores. We really stress if you want one of these animals, you get one from, there's plenty of them on petfinder.com where you can find people that need to rehome them for whatever reason.
Yeah, which brings us to Macy here, who was adopted when Miss Lojas and I started co-teaching together about 3 years ago. And she was adopted from Catnip from the Heart. And so she's grown a lot since we have adopted her.
How big was she in the beginning?
You could like fit her like, let's see.
Don't come.
She was about this big.
Oh wow!
I don't know if
She's
you can
like
see
half
her
her size.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Macy is a leopard gecko, and she is one of the few geckos that has eyelids. So she's able to actually close her eyes, and I think she's the only species that has eyelids. Yeah. And so we always talk to the kids about, you know, how she has this nice big fat tail here, and she stores all of her fat in her tail. So during times when there aren't a lot of resources available, food is very scarce, because she comes from the deserts in Palestine.
So she acts kind of like a bear hibernating. So like they stock up on food and then.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting.
Yep. And so she's actually nocturnal, which doesn't make a great classroom pet since we're not here at night. But she's sometimes when she hears enough noise and sees the kids coming in, she'll greet them in the morning, and she'll be up and around, moving up and about.
Wow,
she's also like probably the most attractive leopard gecko we've ever seen.
She's very adorable.
She's very attractive.
And is this snake, is it going to grow anymore? Is it going to?
Yeah, it'll grow more. Eventually I'll have to get a bigger habitat for him in the classroom. He comes home in the summer. My son likes to care for him. And like this year, for the first time, a student's going to take Macy. A student was really enamored with her, and then the parent at parent-teacher conferences said it would be okay for her to go home over the break. So that's going to be great because the student will get a sense of caring for them. That's the other thing we really stress is that these animals need care for, like this snake could live 20 years. So it's a long-term commitment. And
how old is he?
Manny's probably only about 4 or 5 years old right now.
Oh, that's
and Macy's probably only about 4 years old. So there are long-term commitments, and it can be expensive. Macy got sick after we first got her, and the exotic animal vet visit was, I think, what, $90 or something? $120. So.
Yeah. Some people told us to just flush her, but we refused to.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we really stress to the kids, because when they see them in the classroom, they go home usually within the first week or two of class, and they tell their parents about the class pets, and they want to buy them and have them at home. And again, we really stress to our students that if you would like a pet, first do some research and then adopt. Just really adopt. We are very against these animals being taken out of their natural habitats for our entertainment.
And are there predator and prey, or are they friends like?
Well,
Oh, we have
we
never
don't
combined
have
them
them in the
together.
same habitat.
Okay,
No,
good.
they have different.
Now, interestingly enough, my air doodle though loves the gecko.
Oh yeah.
My air doodle will spend hours watching the gecko.
What's
and
an
the-
air doodle?
He's a dog.
Oh, a
and
dog,
and
of
he'll
course.
go, and the
I asked the same thing.
Macy will actually like go to the edge of the cage to talk to the dog. She could go away, like when the dog comes to her environment, she could like go hide in her tree and stuff.
Yeah.
She actually sits there and watches them. They have conversations and they spend hours together.
Yeah,
It's
they're
odd.
those
Yeah.
interspecies relationships are so interesting. I have a little Pomeranian at home, and same thing when her tank is on the floor, my dog will walk around her tank and she'll follow the dog back and forth.
Are there any other class pets that you guys have, or are these the only ones?
Miss Lowe just had an idea of getting a turtle, but we're kind of filled up on
A
space.
small one or a
No,
tortoise?
we're kind of maxed out in terms of caring for pets right now.
They're very majestic.
Yeah.
Really, still really
Yeah.
creepy.
Still really creepy.
You know what? We've had students that when the first day of school, when they came in and saw the snake, they were completely freaking out and didn't want to have anything to do with it. And over time, they have, they've learned about it, they've really warmed up to it, including myself. When Miss Lojas first brought the snake in, I was scared of it, and now we're friends.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for coming on the show. Don't go anywhere because sometime later, maybe this week or year, we'll have another episode or edition of this show coming out. So thank you for watching and stay tuned, I guess.